Welcome back to Yahoo Finance. Well, just in the last few minutes, the Dow Jones actually tilted below a 1,000-point loss day, and it's accelerating fast. We're actually down over 1,100 points as of right now. As far as percentage goes, that's about 3.25%. The NASDAQ Composite, take a look at this. Tech stocks getting a much bigger hit today, down 5%, and the S&P 500 down 3.7%. But again, what makes all this market action so remarkable is that it is completely reversing the massive gains that we saw after the announcement from the Fed at 2 p.m. yesterday. You can see the big spike up, and then I'll change this to red, the big spike down. You might want to call this a dramatic round trip formation, perhaps. But look, an ugly day across the board, Kiko.
Well, and I wonder if we can pull up the tech stock again, right, or tech names again, because, we've seen a significant sell-off in there. Today, the story is about the e-commerce players and how we have seen a big pullback from the pandemic. On the back of that, we were talking about eBay as well as Etsy earlier. But, in many ways, Brian, this kind of points to the narrative that we've been hearing, right? As we see the Fed move towards higher rates, these high growth companies that are heavily indebted, they're looking at a bigger loss.
Yeah, and I think that we need to take the picture kind of in whole here. This is a one-day move that we're seeing, right? 7% down on Tesla, 7% on Amazon. These are major drivers of the broad markets. That's the reason why the larger indexes are also declining. But look, take a picture of this in your head mentally, and then let me show you what this looks like over a 1-month period. It's still red across the board. I'll show you over a 3-month period. Still red across the board. Now, not as bad. Some stocks have had it certainly worse than others. Amazon, there's a growth story for them that's deflated a bit since the past few earnings reports. Google down 19%. But the picture overall has shown you that the tech stocks have had a tough time through what is the macro story of the Federal Reserve raising rates. Now, the mechanism for that is not as direct. It's not like, 0.5% higher borrowing cost means that they can't finance their debt as easily. The bigger story is that the overall market with regards to the Federal Reserve acknowledging these recession risks is going to take some steam out of the consumers, which every single one of those companies is exposed to.
There's an argument to be said that a lot of this is overdone, but there's definitely a re-rating that's happening around the high growth names, especially those that have seen huge gains on the back of the pandemic over the last few years. You look at, a name like Apple. You were just pointing out the declines today. That's not on news of Apple. This is just sort of the broader sell-off that we're seeing. Obviously we saw the earnings last week. There were concerns about price pressures, but the fundamental story for Apple is still very much intact. And yet we are seeing names like an Apple, a Microsoft down 9% today on the back of the broader macro picture pulling back.
Yeah, and I think too, though, we're talking so much about the tech stocks, but we have to remember that, not all sectors are created equal. When you look at the 3-month period, which we were just showing you, there are clear winners, right? Take a look at energy, and that makes sense because the price of oil, if you're in the commodity space, it's looking very good for you over the last 3-month period. But look, XLC, communication also taking a massive hit. So even though we're talking a lot about what people consider to be the big blue chip, sexy names like Tesla, like Apple, look, there are a number of other sectors that have had it much better, but also had it much worse during this macro story that we've been talking about.
But we mentioned the tech names because they're so heavily weighted, right?
That's so important. Yeah.
That's why. Energy, obviously one that we saw, especially on the back of earnings too, just seeing record profits for these companies because of where energy or oil has been trading. That does it for Brian and I on this Thursday. We're going to be...
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Makakadash. Next double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. And this is your brother Dawada from the Men of Valor camp here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it can be edifying, right? So you today, you had a major, market sell-off, and it wasn't, major as in, the drop increase, but major as in the fact that yesterday, the federal government comes out and they pretty much raise interest rates, all right, going into the amount of debt these companies are taking on and, sending out loans and borrowing and whatnot of what they have to pay basically to the federal government. All right. They raise those rates, which is supposed to boost the economy. You know, when I mean, it boosts it in a different way. When they lower the rates, it makes it easier for individuals to take out money. You know, because the interest rates are low, so that's supposed to boost the economy. But them raising interest rates is supposed to like boost them over long term. All right, and the market yesterday reacted by going up. You know, almost 5%. You know, going up 1,000 points, and today it did the exact opposite. You know, which I said through the Spirit yesterday, that they're trying to heal Babylon, but Babylon cannot be healed. And they keep pumping money into the stock market. They keep adding on all this thick clay, as it says in the book of Habakkuk, lading themselves with thick clay, trying to prolong their kingdom. But the Lord has set bounds that Esau cannot pass. All right, they cannot. You know, they're trying to continue to dwell here. You know, they think that they're going to be able to dwell here and establish their NWO. And the Lord is deceiving them, you know, and allowing them to believe that this can get done. All right, ultimately to fulfill prophecy. All right, it's all about prophecy. All right, the Lord is bigging their head, allowing them to big their heads up to get things rolling with the NWO, to allow Revelations 13 and 16 to come into play. All right, but after that, man, you know, it's fair game. The Lord is going to bring a swift end and destruction to this kingdom. All right, so this is just stock market news. All right, for those that may, you know, be into it. All right, but nonetheless, all right, you know, this place cannot be healed. And that's the point I want to make in this video. And I'm going to actually grab this in Jeremiah 51 and verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Right, Babylon, this is speaking about modern Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon, if you will, America, Babylon the Great. And it's been a tool used from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, and it's going to play a part in the most major judgment to ever befall the earth. All right, and America is going to be at the receiving end of that. Okay, just like the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah was made an example of, you know, those that should after live ungodly. Well, this place is spiritual Sodom. You know how the Lord pulled Egypt apart and delivered the children of Israel from the land of Egypt. Well, this is modern day Egypt as well. All right, as it says in Revelations, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. It's speaking about the same place. The Lord has used this place. All right, and man, this shit, wickedness is just out of control. But it's for a purpose, because the Lord is going to show his power in destroying this place. All right, as an example of what happens when you live in opposition to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, so Babylon have been a golden cup, as it says. I'm going to read it again. Verse 7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And everybody has drunken. From our people to these other nations have followed the ways of America, Babylon the Great. As that example, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. So Babylon is gonna come a time where in 1 hour America's gonna be destroyed by way of thermonuclear destruction. But the Lord is systematically and economically tearing this place apart from the the different lockdowns in China, and how we get so many goods from them. By them not producing goods, it's gonna affect us on down the road. You know? But not only that, but you also have, all right, once again, like we just saw, the stock market, you know, they're trying to boost money into it. They're trying to do things to fix it, and it's just falling. Now, and a lot of that is manipulation, but there's going to come a time where the stock market is really just going to go to zero. It's going to completely crash. It's going to completely fail, because they have to introduce this new system. All right, they have to introduce the MOTB. All right, it says, it says, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. And that when they do little things like this, they're trying to save it. They're trying to take balm for her pain. All right, but America, as it's going to say in verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. And this judgment is going to be, all right, the worst one yet, so to speak. You know, it's prophesied throughout all the scriptures, man. The Lord gave visions to many prophets of the destruction of America, Babylon the Great. You know, 200 million ICBM thermonuclear missiles are going to pummel this place. You know, and the elect are going to be saved out of it. But, you know, it's starting now. We see this place beginning to fall. We see that this place is divided, more divided than ever. And it's really a powder keg, you know, ready to blow. All right. You know, JT is going to come, man. It's close. It's sooner than we know. You know, and they're doing little things, little manipulations. I believe through the Spirit that this second lockdown is coming, man. It's going to come when people least expect it as well. But see, brothers and sisters, we're staying ready so that we don't have to get ready. All right, and we've already spiritually detached from this place. Therefore, when the deal goes down, they're going to rejoice. You know, but this has been the start, you know, quick start market news. It wasn't meant to be long at all. You know, just, Lord willing, it continues to crash. You know, we prophesy against this place. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.